All right, it's Thursday, and that means this is Steve Austin Unleashed podcast, where anything and everything flies, including my favorite four-letter words. And you guys ought to know by now the first thing I do on podcast recording days is take a couple of Alpha Brain and a few swigs of coffee, and then I fire up the Zoom H4n to lay down some audio whoop-ass just for you. And today, I got a little help in that department from my good friend Bill Goldberg. It's part two of our illustrious conversation that happened at the Goldberg compound a few weeks ago in San Diego, California. Anyway, as I said, I don't podcast without Alpha Brain because I need to be sharp as a razor and laser focused behind the mic. And that's what Alpha Brain helps me do. So, another swig of coffee for Onnit, the fine folks who make Alpha Brain. And if you go to onnit.com/Steve to get some Alpha Brain for yourself, you can save 10% off your order. You can save 10% off anything you order at onnit.com/Steve. So yes, you can get 10% off Shroom Tech Sport. Shroom Tech Sport will give your workout a boost. It helps you go longer and recover faster. And yes, you can get 10% off T+. T+ increases strength and power. It will improve your athletic performance, and it's safe to use if you're competing. So go take advantage of this 10% discount off your order. Just go to onnit.com/Steve. And another great thing about Onnit and all their products is if they don't work the way they're supposed to, you can get all your money back, no questions asked. Money back guarantee. So go to onnit.com/Steve to get your 10% discount off all supplements. That's onnit.com/Steve to get 10% off your order.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show. I'm coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today. I'm sitting here in my office at 316 Gimmick Street, getting ready to head down to Huntington Beach, California, about a 40-50 mile drive, and talk to legendary car designer Chip Foose. Man, this guy had one of my favorite shows on television called Overhauling. It used to be on the Learning Channel, and then went to Velocity, and I think I've been watching reruns. Because when I was doing my research on Chip Foose, I found out that the last episode of Overhauling aired on November 18th, 2015. I'm 1 year behind the times. Hell, I thought the show was still in production. Hell, that's one of my favorite shows on TV. So I'm going to ask Chip what happened to this show. When you think about it, if the show was running for about 11 years, give or take, that's a hell of a damn run. And, man, they brought in some badass cars or some junk cars and turned them into some badass street machines. So, anyway, I'm heading down there to talk to Chip Foose. And then tonight, after I get back from Huntington Beach, guess who's coming by the crib? Yep, Ian Hodgkinson. Vampiro from Lucha Underground on El Rey Network. We're going to talk about everything Lucha. We're going to talk about pro wrestling. We're just going to shoot the breeze because El Rey Network, Lucha Underground, has their Ultima Lucha 2 coming up. And it starts on July 6th and runs through July 20th, ending in an epic main event, pitching Prince Puma versus the one and only Rey Mysterio Jr. So after I talk with Chip Foose down there in Huntington Beach, I'm coming right back here to 316 Gimmick Street to talk to the one and only Vampiro. Now, y'all remember last time I talked to Vampiro, it was a great conversation. I think we went about 2 parts. It was fun talking to him on the phone because we just hit it off naturally with great chemistry. So I'm looking for good things out of that. And hell, who knows what we're going to talk about. I'm just looking forward to talking to the cat and talking about Lucha Underground because I've been watching a lot of that show lately. I binge watched it to catch up to see the storylines that Prince Puma was, into, some of the things that he was doing, of course, to check him out as Ricochet. But I really enjoy that show. I like the way it's presented, and they just pull you right into the storylines, and you're willing to suspend your disbelief, or at least I am, and to buy into the storylines. And so they got a bunch of great cats over there, and it's been interesting to see the success of Marty the Moth South, Son of Havoc, and Evilise. I guess that's all from the Tough Enough 2011 class over there. But all over there kicking ass, got good spots, especially Evilise. But they're all doing great. And it's funny watching the Son of Havoc promos because they dub in that voice behind him. And Marty, he's doing the Donny Osmond, as Bill called him during the 2011 Tough Enough season. He's kind of got this off-the-wall character. But anyway, looking forward to talking to Vampiro, and that's going to happen tonight. But anyway, hey, quick check-up on me. Everything is going good. Shoulder rehab. God damn it. I just went to rehab yesterday, Tuesday, and I'm at 10 weeks out, and they told me 2 more weeks of passive range of motion exercise. That's going to put me at 12 weeks, 3 fucking months. I'm about to go crazy. I'm training like a banshee with my left arm, doing, just bent over dumbbell rows, dumbbell bench press, incline bench press, shoulder presses, lateral raises. I'm still not really working my legs yet. I need to, but that right side is still atrophied pretty bad. It is what it is. It was a hell of an operation that they went under. I remember rehabbing my left shoulder back in 2011, and, I rehabbed that myself, and it went at a much more rapid pace, but this was a much more extensive surgery. So to answer all the questions coming into the email, I'm doing good. I just rather get back to training with all the limbs of my body so I can kind of generate a little bit of stimulus, when you're not doing heavy squats, when you're not doing those heavy deadlifts, and you're not doing those heavy clean and jerks, military presses, stuff like that. It's just using that one arm is kind of hard to tax your nervous system. But hey, I'm doing the best I can. The shoulder's coming along for what it is, just using it to pick things up right and eat and brush my teeth and all that other bullshit. I'm doing just fine. So I appreciate all the emails that you guys have been sending in. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to you guys hearing part 2 of my conversation with Bill Goldberg.
Hey, this is Adam Carolla from The Adam Carolla Show. The NFL playoffs are here, and BetOnline gives you more ways to play. With BetOnline, you get the latest odds, breaking news, and live scores with BetOnline's in-game betting. You'll never miss a moment of the college football playoffs and the road to the Super Bowl as well. When it's time to switch gears, dive into BetOnline's casino, packed with hundreds of the hottest slots, classic table games, live dealers, and massive jackpots just waiting for you. And if you love the NBA or the UFC, NHL, it's all there. You can place a little bet on the action. Get in on the action. Please don't forget the BetOnline VIP program with exclusive level-up bonuses, weekly cash boosts, and rewards designed for serious players. Head to BetOnline today, because at BetOnline, the game starts here.
Steve Austin Unleashed.
I'm sitting here at the Goldberg's garage. There's a sign in the corner that says that. Let's move over here, Bill. I want to talk to you about a few automobiles in your possession. We're walking and
my
talking.
wife's possession.
We're walking and talking right now. When we're in what would this be, the southern wing, the eastern wing?
I don't know, man. I've been hitting the head too many times to know what direction I'm pointed in.
So check it out.
This is the upper level.
Hey, before we start talking about these automobiles, I left the fans last week hanging on a cliffhanger. You said it just wasn't fun for you anymore, and you were...
Elements of it weren't fun for me anymore. See, every time I make a comment, I have to backtrack and understand that people are going to take certain elements of it the wrong way. So, certain elements of it were negative. The fans' reaction, the ability to pick guys up and smash them in the face without getting put in jail, that was awesome. Other things, interacting with wonderful superstars and idols of mine such as yourself.
He rolled his eyes, ladies. You motherfucker. He rolled his eyes at a global icon.
See, the good thing is that I do things to guys like you that most nobody would ever do, and that evokes a humorous reaction from you. Therefore, I've succeeded. That's my angle.
At the end of the WWE run, you came in there, dude. It just didn't seem to me. It seemed like. Maybe the run was shutting down, or was it a square peg in a round hole?
It was a square peg and a round hole. I don't think.
That's what I thought.
I'm not going to speak for anybody on their end, but I don't think from the beginning that either one of us gave it a fair shot. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I had a predisposed idea of what I was going to encounter.
What was that predisposed idea?
Negativity. Period. End of story. Whatever it may be. Whether it be because of what I ask for, because of what I say, because of what I do, because of what I don't do, everything. Honestly, I'm not trying to be vague. Everything. I never thought as though, I always felt as though I was a football player at a frat party.
Right.
That, to me, that's a pretty fair analogy.
What was the difference in the vibe, WCW to WWF? What was it, WWF at the time? Well, dude.
I remember I was
were the bad guy,
I was in Europe doing my book signing, and you guys were having the fight with the
Right.
World Wildlife Federation.
So anyway, you come in, and it's like, what was the difference in the locker room? Because if you were the bad guy back in the day when you got the monster push, now you come in, and there's job security on the line for top guys because here comes Goldberg, and so some guys are going to perceive you as a threat. You and I have been friends for a long time. I just say, hey, man, here comes Goldberg. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said earlier, I'm on the way out here pretty quick, so I was way cool with you coming in. But what did it feel like to you just on a personal level being in that different vibe?
It was different, man. It was never like the football atmosphere, the football locker room where I don't know. I can't. I mean, there are a lot of things that I could.
You weren't at home. You weren't at home.
No, man.
Because
that's why, and because of maybe the position that I was at, that's why at times I had my own locker room, and that was looked upon in a negative way. But I always felt as though if you keep, and I'm not trying to be a badass, you know me, dude, okay? I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you keep if a caged animal, if a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex chooses to be in a room because he knows that the path of least resistance is much more favorable in everybody's outcome, then so be it. What's wrong with that? And it wasn't because I couldn't coexist with people. It wasn't because of this. It wasn't because, it was just because, man, I came in, I did my job, and I felt as though that if I contributed in that respect, I didn't have to go interact with this guy and that guy, and I was trying to be business, man. And if people looked at that in a negative way, then I'm sorry, man. But it was something that I always looked at in a negative way. But I mean,
well, let me digress a little bit and backtrack.
I'll never forget times. There were wonderful, wonderful fucking times in the wrestling business for me. One of the most wonderful was meeting you for the first time. I can't remember where it was, but I remember it was at the meal before the match, and it was fucking cool, man. It was cool. I'd heard so much about you, and I'd seen so much about you, and obviously we've always been compared against each other. But to shake your hand and look you in the eyes and hear you talk to me and call me kid, and it was an honor, man. It was cool. It was really neat. So I mean, times like that, and obviously I'd known Taker for years prior to that. So times like that, there were some really cool times in the business.
How we got to go back now because you got some old memories going. And dude, this is just you and me shooting the breeze in your garage. You should have heard the conversation. We took a little beer break a while ago. That's total kayfabe. We're keeping it up.
Yeah.
But dude, when you used to go through the airports and you would hear Stone Cold, hey, Stone Cold, Austin, me, when I was walking through the airport, Goldberg.
What do you mean was?
Goldberg. There's Goldberg.
I think
Goldberg.
it happened to me every time I go everywhere. But here's my question. I'm gonna cut you off with a question for
Yes,
a
you
question.
can. It's your fucking house.
What's your top comeback? In one sentence, what's your top or in one word, what's your top comeback? What do you do? Don't say the feeling that evokes you. What do you say?
I didn't say shit.
Come on,
I
man.
didn't say shit because, I mean, if I did, it had to be fuck you, but I just never registered.
If it did,
I can't say
it'd have to be fuck you. Well, you know what mine was?
What?
I say he's my sister.
You motherfucker.
I'm just saying.
I'm putting my eyeglasses
I'm
on the
just
table.
saying, man. Hey, we're being real.
I got two pairs. I got a pair of sunglasses and eyeglasses on my table. I just put them on the table.
Those are bifocals, man. Those ain't fucking eyeglasses.
I got
Be
a
honest.
rotator cuff. No, dude, it used to make me madder than a hornet because here's the deal. Dude, the competition, and we're friends, and I always respect
I always looked at it as an honor.
But what?
I still tell people I'm you
But here's the thing.
because I'm so skinny now.
But here's the thing. Well, I'm fat as fuck. I got to get back in the gym. But here's the thing, dude. You were newer to the business, but it was straight up. The competition between the companies was a shoot. So for me to be mistaken as Goldberg made me mad.
Second by second. You guys used to do the same shit.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, it angered me because I mean that was competition.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed. And here's the thing: you didn't get a chance to watch every single thing I did, nor did I get a chance to watch every single thing you did. Glimpses. Hey, dude, dude, we look alike. You're a little bit more jacked up than me, so I can understand why a wrestling fan who's flicking back and forth would get confused. But the competition was so heavy back in the day between the companies, that was a shoot. You and me put up with it.
And it was ironic that, two of the very top guys looked, quite similar. It had, look was completely, I mean, if you look closely, we were completely different body. We still are. We always will be. We're completely two different characters. But at a casual glance, yeah, I could see the similarity. But, I'll be perfectly honest with you. It fucking made me want to rip someone's head off when they, hey, Goldberg, hey, Austin. I was like, fuck you. Because... only because I was like 300, man, and I had fucking traps, and I was like, all the time, and I'm like, fuck, what am I shrinking?
So basically,
that was the only thing. But other than that,
other than physique-wise, you're just shitting on me in your garage.
I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying the reality is, and this is how I look at everything. What was the heaviest you were when you looked the best?
Oh, 255.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's reality. I was 300 fucking pounds. So that's the only thing. Other than that was 1% of it. Other than that, the fact that anybody would think that I was somebody who was one of the most successful guys who ever fucking laced up the boots, it was a huge honor. But I couldn't acknowledge it and go, oh, God, thank you. I'm fucking Goldberg, bitch. I fucking eat Stone Cold. I can't go, yeah, man, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, but I'm Goldberg, and, I'm emasculated again.
Fucking Goldberg has about, 20 cars. There's enough for a 20 by 20 squared circle. We're about to have a goddamn match. I'm going to go get some railroad ties. We're going to make a ring. This is going to happen right here. It's going to be a shoot. I'm kidding. What we are going to do, though, is take a minute so I can thank all the fine sponsors of this podcast. So shout out to Dollar Shave Club. And, of course, shout out to y'all for supporting my great sponsors. And to show my appreciation, I've worked out a special deal with our friends at Dollar Shave Club and arranged for them to give new members a month of the Executive Razor for free, just for buying a tube of Dr. Carver shave butter. So there's no excuse not to join the millions of others who've joined the club. DollarShaveClub.com/Steve delivers amazing razors right to your front door for about a third of the price what those greedy razor corporations charge. That means when you become a member of DollarShaveClub.com/Steve, you can afford to shave with a fresh blade anytime you want. And we all know how great it feels to shave with a fresh blade. I've got the executive blade, and when you pair it with Dr. Carver shave butter, it's about the smoothest shave money can buy. And that's without breaking your wallet. And Dr. Carver shave butter ain't your average shave cream. It's a unique formula made with natural ingredients that will leave your skin feeling soft and smooth. So join DollarShaveClub.com/Steve now, and new members who buy a tube of Dr. Carver shave butter get a month of the executive razor for free. Take advantage of the special offer today. Go to DollarShaveClub.com/Steve. That's DollarShaveClub.com/Steve. When people mention the name Stone Cold Steve Austin, or when people would see Stone Cold Steve Austin, or if you say The Rock, or if you say The Undertaker, you know who and what they are from a gimmick perspective or their persona that they played in the ring. Stone Cold is me turned up all the way to 12. And so it was, hey, fuck you, a beer-drinking guy. He's pissed off at the system. He's going to raise hell. If you fuck with him, he's going to kick your ass. You knew what Stone, and his beer and middle fingers. So that was kind of the long story short definition of my character, and there was much more depth to it than that, but just on the surface, that's what you think. You're always seeing a hell-raising, badass, redneck kind of guy is going to beat your ass if you piss him off. When you say Goldberg, I mean, because, dude, you were so over, and I want to get to your entrance in a minute, but how would you define the Goldberg persona / gimmick? Because I was the Hellraiser, you would be the what? We're talking shop.
In the days of old when you used to throw people to the lions, I was the lion. In the days when, from the inception of professional wrestling, when the word gimmick has always been looked upon as a definition of a wrestler or a character, there has been, from time to time, I'm so eloquent at times. There's been from time to time people that are far from reality in that they are quite ridiculous. I was the fucking opposite of that. In that I wasn't there to impress you with my moves. I was there to say, I saw you walk into that restaurant and there was a 75-year-old woman that walked behind you and you didn't think enough to turn behind you and open the door for her. And she couldn't see, and she didn't understand that the door wasn't open, and she ran into it, fell down, and broke her ankle, and now she's on her way to the hospital. I'm here to fucking make sure that you don't ever do that again. That was me. But after I show you that, teach you that lesson, I can step out of the ring, take a deep breath, and grab someone's baby and take a wonderful picture with them and have them not think that I'm going to eat them. You know, I was the person who could be the most unforgiving. I was Brody in a completely different. I was Brody and what's his name from WCW?
Nikita Koloff.
Okay, I was Hawk. I was Nikita, but I was a football player, and I don't know. Those are the two that I could compare myself to more than anyone. Though it be the look and the way that they performed in the ring with their mentality as far as attacking an opponent. But I had remorse, and no, I didn't have remorse. If you cross me, then I was going to eat you. If you were an ally in any way, shape, or form, I would put my life on the line for you. I was the eternal good guy. You know, if anybody needed help, I was there to help them.
Question: you never turned heel, did you?
I did, man. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast, but I did. But that's a whole nother story.
Didn't work for you, did it?
I did. I always told you. I always told everybody, and I told you earlier that I'm a performer. I'm not an entertainer. Okay, I'm not a booker. I don't know what's right. I know that if you give me something, I can make it badass. I can't write the whole story because I don't. That it's not that I'm creative enough. It's that I probably am not. I'm not.
No, let me. I think I can interject here. I mean, like you're friends with Kevin Nash, as am I. Kevin Nash, he's a big pitcher and he can book.
Completely different.
Me, I'm a salt and pepper guy. If you give me an idea, I can make it better by putting salt and pepper spices. So I'm not a big picture guy. Yeah. But if you give me a situation, I can go with it and then make it better.
Exactly. And I can make it as...
So what happened with the Hill Run?
Well, the kids, man. The kids.
Did it hurt you on a shoot level?
It did.
Yeah.
It did because it's a work. It's a work, but watch me on Povich. Watch me on Povich with Elijah, you know, I can't remember his exact name, but man, it was like 20 years ago, bro. And all the kids that I did so much stuff with, it meant so much to them. And they didn't get it. They didn't get that, you know, the best wrestlers are the ones that make the turn from baby to heel and back and can fool people and can take them along with that ride and sell merchandise the entire way and be successful the entire way and be able to make that transition and carry people because they care about who you are. whether because to get people a successful, whether it be wrestling match or fight, is to get people to invest in who you are, whether they want you to win or lose. If they don't give a shit, then you fucking lost, right?
Agreed.
Period. End of story. Floyd Mayweather. I can't stand him. But, man, he draws more money than rain. There you go. So, Conor McGregor. I had the same thought process on that one. But the heel run, I didn't want to do it to begin with because of the kid thing. I did so much with Make-A-Wish. I did a lot of stuff, man, to where I knew it would crush these kids' hearts. Ironically, the night that I turned heel, I had a Make-A-Wish girl that had cancer. Okay? So what's the night that I turned heel? What did I do? Do you remember?
No.
I wrestled Hacksaw. What did Hacksaw come back from?
Cancer.
Thank you very much. So what effect do you think I had on that little girl when I came into that locker room? Whether it was a shoot or whether it was a work or whether I was getting paid millions of dollars, I still got a heart, a big heart. And fuck everybody who can't see beyond, the things that they read, because I really don't care about those people. But I really am a very caring person, and that tore me apart. So I remember we were Baltimore the next night, and I told the guys, I said, I'm done. After Baltimore, I'm going back, dude. It ain't working. It ain't happening. I know it would be badass. I would have been one of the fucking most ruthless sumbitch fucking heels ever on the planet. I would have been you at 300 pounds. And I swear that it like Brock and his decision to go back to the UFC, it'll haunt me, from now until the day I die, that I didn't fucking turn heel and give the fans the ability to see that part of me. Because, man, there's that wild animal in me that wants to just completely break loose and be lawless.
But the personal side of who you are,
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't go there.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
So how much control did you have in that decision? Was Eric running the show at the time?
Yeah, but I obviously had, I don't remember, and I'm not looking back and saying, yeah, man, I was a fucking man, and I obviously had all the control. Well, I obviously had control enough to say no, because I went back immediately to being babyface.
And, man, speaking of control, I was trying to talk about cars, but we keep talking about wrestling, and I want to talk about your entrance. But when you talk about control, it jars my mind of Hulk Hogan, who always had creative control. One of the smartest guys in the business. People always knock me that I don't give the guy enough credit. I've got a ton of respect for Hulk Hogan's career in the ring. So, sadly, that just seems to be what's true. There's no heat between myself and Hogan. I'm asking you, what was your relationship with Hulk Hogan when you were down there in WCW? All of a sudden, you shoot through the goddamn roof, hotter than a firecracker. Y'all do some business. What's the relationship? What's the dynamic?
Well, he's Hulk Hogan. He's going to do his thing, right? I'm the guy coming in. I'm a worthy nemesis that's going to make everybody a lot of money, which fortunately ultimately makes the company and everyone else who falls under that umbrella a lot of money. But, hey, Hogan helped me out a lot because through osmosis, and that it was not what he told me, it's what he did and I watched. Less is more is the biggest thing that I learned from Hogan, period, end of story. Less is more. Throw out every bit of the rest. My relationship with him was superficial in that I was the guy and I was money in that, but I like Hogan, man. I mean, he's there's something about those Florida guys, man. He, Knobs, and all those goofs, man, there's something wrong with them. There's something that they got going with this. I don't get it, but, I like Hogan. If it wasn't for guys like him that paved the way for guys like me and you, it's like Don Fry paving the way for, Chris Weidman. He, whether it be the wrestling business or the movie business, I mean, he's done things and broken barriers that I'm very appreciative of. But I mean, he's part of the business. He's and when you mention Hulk Hogan, and when I say he's part of the business, I do nothing but smile and giggle.
Dude, you brought the name Chris Weidman. Man, he had to bow out of a title fight trying to get his belt back from Luke Rockhold, who dethroned him several months back. Michael Bisping gets put in the picture. You watched UFC 199 just like I did. all of a sudden, the bell rings. I thought Luke Rockhold looked a little bit overconfident, lackadaisical, in my opinion. And I say this with all respect to Luke Rockhold, who I met many months ago when I was interviewing Daniel Cormier down there in San Jose where they train. My point is, what were your thoughts on that fight? Because a lot of people thought, Bisping coming in on 2 weeks' notice didn't have a chance. I've always maintained that while Bisping may not be heavy-handed, he does have power in his hands. A lot of people consider him more of a volume guy. I didn't see him winning this fight. He's got the bad eye. He comes in there, fights a smart fight. I thought maybe Luke Rockhold took him too lightly, and boom, 2 shots. We've got a new champion. What were your thoughts on that fight? What he's got brought to the octagon?
What I bring, the thing that I bring from it is that Bisping walked through Rockhold's offense. His attempted offense was precise and coming 2 weeks off of having a fight. So he's still on, or however many weeks it was since his last fight. He's still in shape to fight. And technically, he's a very good boxer. At the end of the day, man, it's a chess match. And these guys who do MMA, they're all nuts. And it's styles make fights, period, end of story. So one time when you look at a guy's record and he has no shot whatsoever of fucking beating another dude, I mean, it's completely dependent upon the style. And obviously the matchmaker who wants the guy. I mean, it's the same thing.
Right. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then, dude, anytime you get into an octagon, and this is just me as a super fan, when they close that door, anybody's got a chance. No matter if you're ranked number 1 or you're the champion.
Pretty much.
I mean,
pretty much.
You have
You're
a puncher's
right.
chance.
Yeah.
If you connect. And I'm not knocking Michael Bisping. I'm just saying, I think he came in maybe was ranked 7 or 8. I can't remember, but I mean, that's a guy that when he first
look at Holly Holm.
Yeah.
My brother was in Vegas and said, "Hey man, does she have a chance?" And I'm like, I didn't know shit from Shinoa as far as like making a good decision, telling my brother when he's got money on the line. And I said, I really don't know, but I don't think she's got a shot. Well, I didn't know a lot about Holly. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know how mentally she was going to prepare and how
decorated she was from her boxing career.
I knew she was decorated, but not to the extent that she was. And so she's been in wars before, and styles make fights. Period. End of story. Again. So. And I met Holly, and she's awesome. And
she seems like a class act. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens because obviously coming up in 200, it's going to be the champ, Miesha Tate. Here's the thing. Miesha Tate's only 29 years old. She's been around forever. So she stayed, nose to the grindstone. She works her ass off. Finally was able to get that gold after being defeated twice by Ronda Rousey. Rousey hands a defeat at Holly Holm. See what she comes back with. So I think Miesha fights Nunez at, pardon me if I'm getting the name wrong, at 200, then to see what comes out of that, whether Rousey will jump back in the title picture. Do you see that happening?
Who knows, man? You know as well as I do that we have to make good business decisions behind the scenes. And so I don't know what her motive is as far as her next fight, whether she wants to ride off into the sunset MMA-wise and just go into Hollywood. She's the girlfriend of a good buddy of mine, man. It's funny, man. It's just funny how things are so close to home, and so there's such big deals, out in the atmosphere. And then, I'm hanging out with Gage at one of his baseball tournaments, and there's Travis with his nephew or something. And man, I've known Travis since he tells me the story about going to my brother's restaurant, Pacific Coast Grill, when I was wrestling. And he was never little. He says he was a kid in the corner and he was too scared to come over and ask for my autograph. And he's telling me this as his 2 kids are running around the parking lot and he's looking down at me and I'm going, fucking A, man, I'm old. So.
All right, let me shift back to for a little bit of professional wrestling. That's enough MMA out of me. I'm just an MMA fan. Don't know the total technicality of the sport, but I have my thoughts and opinions. I got to ask you, man, we're here, we're supposed to be talking about cars, but dude, I got to ask you about your fucking entrance. You had one of the best entrances in the history of the business, in my opinion. That fucking music they drummed up for you, it was the right music for the right guy at the right time, with the right atmosphere, the right attitude. And how did this thing become what it was? I mean, because when you look at the great entrances like Undertaker, one of the best of all time, Triple H had a really good entrance at WrestleMania a couple years ago when Motorhead was out there playing for him. Lemmy kicked it off, and goddamn, it was awesome. I had that glass breaking. It was what it was, but it was simplified. Here you are, the biggest, baddest, most jacked up motherfucker in the building, and depending on where you guys were at or how you were staffed,
cops
had anywhere from 6 to 20 security guards walking your ass to the ring.
They were keeping everybody safe with me walking in the ring. You know, here's the deal.
I like that spin.
The cool thing is, and this is no bullshit, man. I mean, and I've said it a million times, is that it was all organic. I remember we were training one time. I was with Sting in the trailer, right? Inside of the building. And it was like the music vault. Okay? And we were scanning through music. And we picked fucking Invasion, dude. That was it. None of this shit was planned out. None of the streak, none of this shit was planned out. It was just like it happened and they just kind of went with it. Honest to God. You want me to, I mean, I've said it before, but you know how I came up with Who's Next? This is even funnier. I'm in San Bernardino, and it was, we were doing TV tapings. And this is before anything, right? I think it was dark. It was just for me to train, kind of like down in Orlando at Universal Studios. And I can't remember the name of the restaurant, so I won't get in any legal trouble. So I'm sitting down with one of the producers of The Love Boat and my brother Steve, and we're about to order, and the producer looks at me and he says, you know, you have to have a gimmick. You have to have a saying. You have to have a slogan. You got to get people behind you. And I said, you know what? You're right. You know where I'm going, don't you?
This epiphany, yeah.
So the waitress comes up, and she looks, and she goes, who's next? And that was it. I swear to God, I looked at them and I went, that's it. Who's next? Because after I beat the first guy, it's open fucking season. So it's perfect. It's plain, it's simple, it's straight to the point. It's not, I don't like to be wordy. You know, it gives too many options to people to tear you down.
Yeah. That's how Who's Next was born. That's
Swear,
awesome.
God, I'll pinky promise you.
Dude, whose idea was it for all the security guards to keep everybody safe from Bill Goldberg?
It might have been Dillinger's idea.
It was a great idea.
I mean,
Doug going into business for himself, and I remember Doug, and I know he's not listening to the podcast, but Doug, you were always good to me back down in those WCW Center Stage guys, Center Stage days, so thank you very much for everything you did for me.
It was awesome, man. I love Doug to death, but I don't remember whose idea it was. I know Shivani had a lot to do with, you know, with the streak itself. You know, I know Heenan had a lot to do with. I mean, it was all.
What was Heenan's thoughts
all
on you?
Organic. I don't know. I can't, man. I can't.
Did he help you? Because you know Heenan was brilliant.
Yeah,
all the boys
he
loved
helped
Heenan.
me. He helped me tremendously.
Yeah, he was so funny, so smart, such a worker. He could work better than half the boys. He was just he was like a utility player, but whatever he did, he was A+.
I loved him. Not only because it gave me the opportunity to rub shoulders and learn from a guy that I'd watched on television, you know, and thought was really cool and really talented and had me emotionally invested, who was a guy who, you know, inherently wasn't the biggest wrestling fan. It was an honor, a privilege, and he was fucking hilarious.
I'm sitting here in Goldberg's garage. We're going to come back because
I need to take a break because
I legitimately have to take a break too, and I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to talk about cars. Hey, did you get this? There's a welding helmet or a burning helmet. What kind of helmet is this, Bill? Because it's dark glass.
It's a welder, man. It's a welder.
Where's the dark glass at? Did you get that from Jesse?
Gage popped it out. No, Jesse and I aren't the best of friends anymore.
Oh, dude, what happened?
That's a whole nother podcast, too.
Okay, we're coming right back after a break. Apostles Cause, sponsors to keep the show on the air for free twice a week. I'm hanging with Bill Goldberg.
I don't miss saying that.
Shit's getting bad. God damn it. Man, I just took a hell of a beer break with Bill Goldberg here at Goldberg's Garage. I thought I was going to talk about cars, and we will at some point.
You took a dump. That wasn't a beer break.
Start up the hairdryer. I got to ask you about a particular poster you have right over there. It's Adam Sandler's Longest Yard. You and I had the spot in this illustrious movie, did good business at the box office. And what was your character's name? Because I don't even know mine.
Joey Battle.
Did you have any creative control over the name of your character? Because knowing you with your fucking
but I did request the X. I did not have any creative control over anything. The penis thing with the jock strap at the end was a payback for him not putting me in the first couple Hanukkah songs. No creative control except for stiffening a couple guys with elbows with wearing pads and the X. That was it.
Here's the deal. It was you, me, Brian Bosworth, Michael Irvin. I don't know what Dilip's saying, but we were all in the same spot. You and I all got the same dough, which will go unmentioned. Yeah. And so we all had that spot. How did you have to go audition? Because I did, and my part, I was a guard at the prison, and I was a running back. And here's the thing, dude, I thought I was going to be like a lineman or something. The time we did that movie, I was in pretty good shape. I was 275, and I was a pretty good 275, and I was drinking like a fish. As Kevin Nash and I would stay up at the little lounge there.
I got a great story.
People were stupefied at the kind of alcohol that we were consuming, and then we were out of that
tell you how stupefied they were. First of all, it's another subject, but you must tell everybody who the only actor was that did every freaking football scene. It was me, other than a couple.
Dude, I did every football scene there was. When we had to run through all those pads and all the dummies.
Man, the hits and everything.
Oh, I didn't have to do the hits, but I was running.
I'm talking about the hits in the movie.
God damn it, Bill! I pulled a hamstring.
I know. I'm not going to go there. I was going to glaze over that, bro. That's like a football player going in the wrestling ring and not knowing what it's like. That you were a wrestler that went into a football arena.
Here's the thing, Bill.
And you weren't ready for it.
Here's the thing, Bill. I wasn't
You're not conditioned for it.
Listen to me. I wasn't as good a football player as you. I didn't ascend. I didn't get a major college scholarship to Georgia University. Wasn't widely recruited by many colleges.
You're condescending in your explanation.
No. You was a bad motherfucker. and you played some pro football. I was good enough to get a scholarship at a Division II school. My point is, I played football. I was aggressive.
But you weren't ready for the football conditioning.
No,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying.
I'd been in a wrestling ring.
So watching you go through that,
you and Nash. See that wall over? It's 20 feet away. Uh-huh. I was used to running to a 20-foot rope and ricocheting off of it and coming back. Well, all of a sudden, I'm on a football field and we're running 100 yards.
I was playing football. Then I jumped into your arena. Then we got to do the longest yard. Then we could go back to my arena so I could back up and watch you guys and kind of giggle a little bit. That's all.
Dude, to see my fucking crippled ass try to run through those pads, I was a running back, and I was running back in high school, but I just thought dude, here's the thing. I always thought, they're going to have a stunt guy for my shit.
Yeah. They had to at the end.
Now, back in the old days, when I was doing movies and shit, I had a stunt man do some of my shit, and I always did most of my shit because on the budget that we were on. Anyway, I pulled a hamstring. We was out there in the fucking heat of Santa Fe, and then over there at El Camino Junior College, whatever, in Los Angeles. Did they call you? Did they say, hey, we want Bill Goldberg to play this part? How did you get that part? Because I think Barry was representing me at the same time.
Barry's the one who got Dilip to do it. Because in the meeting that I had with them, I think it was the three of the producers. Adam wasn't in the meeting. But in the meeting that I had with them, he brought up Dilip. I remember that. That was the most memorable thing about the entire meeting. That and the fact that I told them that I needed a week off for Sturgis. And, excuse me, which leads me to the story, reverting back to you and Kevin Nash's exploits, because the week that so my wife and I go to Sturgis, and we come back, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I remember we walked... We're walking through the lobby, and adjacent to the lobby is the bar. And on the bar are two gentlemen that look quite familiar that were both passed out. And one was named Kevin Nash, and the other was, what was his name?
Could have been a dude looked like me.
He looked just like you, but he wasn't me. And that was classic. That was one of the things I bet. Remember me driving to set on that motorcycle with a mullet, with that blonde wig on.
You had some interesting moments in the filming process. You had a couple of meltdowns. What was going on with you?
I don't know what happened that one time. That one dude who was your double, man, was being a dingleberry at the breakfast at the Denny's or something, and I wanted to eat him or something. I can't remember. Other than that, that was it, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I just remember it was like 4 or 5 months out of my life, and dude, we were on like the no money scale, because the amount of money was
it was us going. Put it this way, dude. At the end of the day, it was us taking one for the team, but being a part of that team, you know, we can't shake that the rest of our lives, because that was a cool experience.
Oh, it was a great experience. And here's the thing, dude, I met a lot of guys living in Los Angeles, and I don't hang around nobody. You're a hermit out here in this wonderful compound. I'm a hermit in my little compound there on Gimmick Street in Marina Del Rey. But out of all the folks I met, and you, I think you can back me on this, and if you got someone cooler than Adam Sandler, just throw out a name, because that dude was fucking cool.
Well, remember what Bert did for us. Remember Bert, flying us to.
Here's the thing: when I got a chance to go, he's talking about Burt Reynolds. I got a chance. I knew Burt wasn't feeling that great, during the filming of that movie, but he was such a goddamn movie star, superstar back in the day. Of course, Deliverance, all the Smokey and the Bandit movies, everything that Burt did, I watched. So I introduced myself.
I got two Trans Ams downstairs.
He didn't know who the fuck I was. But dude was
the only reason he knew who I was is because of my wife.
Really,
because she'd been in movies with him before me.
But it was a good dude. But Sandler was awesome good. Man.
Well, I mean, we all got stories about Sandler. I mean, you were, obviously. Had softer lips than I did, and so you've done more movies with him than I have. But no, he was great. Are you kidding me? He put me in the Hanukkah thing. He put me in The Longest Yard. But the coolest thing I got about Adam is that when Gage was born, my son, 10 years ago, he had a fever, and so they had to keep him overnight with Wanda. And there was a kid across the hall that had botulism, the gimmick that would eat your skin, and it was just the worst thing you could ever see, man. The kid was like 10, and he recognized me, and it turns out that his favorite guy was Adam Sandler. So I called Adam, and not only did Adam get on the phone with the kid, but Adam drove down there and saw him.
That's cool.
So I mean, I'm not going to go. You don't need to go any further than that.
Dude, I'm on the topic of movies. Are you fixing to film any more movies? I've kind of tapped out.
Man. September. Sometime in August, I got to go into pre-production since I'm co-executive producing this damn thing. And
where y'all shooting at?
We're shooting in New Orleans, man.
God damn, God bless your heart, because I thought you was going to say like Budapest.
No, that ain't happening. These movies aren't expensive.
Croatia. The people, this podcast is worldwide. I got people from Budapest, Croatia, listen to this podcast, but I've been pitched a couple of movies that have been shot way over there.
Me too, and
you know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of places I'm going to be, but a long ways from home is not where I'm going to be.
No, it's about that claustrophobic, no ability to control your surroundings thing.
Being a tube with wings, it's called an airplane. You don't dig it.
Well,
so tell me about the movie.
Hey, dude. Well, first of all, let's talk about a tube with wings. I'm going to London, and I'm doing one of the coolest things it ranks up with two other things with beating Hogan in front of 45,000 people, meeting you, and
3.
exposing to people that you don't drink all the beers that you say you drink.
God damn it.
Further emasculating you, like being the only guy in the world that's bad enough.
Okay, what are you doing?
That's
Rob it.
I'm going to Europe, and I'm driving Mike Skinner's backup truck in the Goodwood Festival of Speed. It's the coolest fucking thing that I've ever done in a car or vehicle. 200,000 people will be there. It's all live on ESPN. But I get to drive a Craftsman truck, Mike Skinner's backup truck, where like Fittipaldi drives, like Ayrton Senna's driven. All the guys who have won championships throughout the years who are alive are asked to drive certain manufacturer cars or the actual cars that they've won, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, up until, even today, man. It's Jaguar, asked me to drive a car up the hill, man. It's going to be just absolutely cool. So I got to throw a shout out to Mike Skinner and Camus. Camus is our major sponsor. Yes, they're going with us. We're going to have some fun.
You talking
drinking.
about Camus Vineyards?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bill was
Chuck, thank you very much, man. I can't wait. You better be listening to this podcast.
Hey, dude,
I can't wait to drink some Special Reserve.
I don't know how many bottles myself and Kevin Nash killed of Camus during the film in The Longest Yard, going back to that.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And then a couple of times when me and my illustrious wife went to Napa Valley, stopped by the Camus Vineyard and had a good time there. But, dude, when you're talking about, are you talking about open wheel stuff? You talking about Indy style cars?
No, go on YouTube. The only way you're going to do it justice, I can't describe it. Go on YouTube and Google Goodwood Festival of Speed. Okay. They have every single type of race car that races from the 20s, the teens till now, racing up this hill. It's an exhibition. They have a NASCAR exhibition group. They have current NASCAR guys. They have Mike Skinner, who's driving the truck up it, me, who's driving the truck. I'm a celebrity, quote unquote, driving up it. Ken Block drives up it. Every freaking European champion, every champion every single person, all the rally cars, the big giant diesel freaking 18-wheelers drive this thing. It's the coolest thing you could ever do.
Dude, is Ken Block the dude that drives that Gymkhana car?
Absolutely.
Dude,
he's
that
bad.
motherfucker's insane. You know him?
Yeah, he's a good dude. I used to do some stuff with Ford when that Lawman, that car downstairs that we can't talk about until we're standing next to it.
We're going to talk to him in a minute. Dude, how do you learn how to drive like that? I know you can drive, but that's at a whole level.
My wife's a stunt woman, and the way that they used to do it is like every stunt guy back in the days. They used to go to an unnamed rental car company and take out all the coverage and rent a Challenger or a Mustang, or back in the day a Hertz 350 Mustang, and beat the dog shit out of it and not be liable for anything because you took out the $20 full coverage. It's true. That's how if you had her on here, she'd tell you that's how she learned how to drive as a stunt woman. Me, I've been afforded the opportunity to do schools throughout the years and, race with Dodge at Bondurant in Atlanta, wherever.
God damn it, dude. I'm glad you said that. It's on my bucket list. I was talking about this the other day. I'm fixing to go to a neon bending class because I just love neon clocks. But one of the things on my bucket list is long-range shooting, but you just brought it up. And whether it's any high-performance school, I'm not singling it out, but because I know of the name Bondurant, I want to go to a high-performance school.
I'll get you hooked up at Bondurant.
I was going to do like the 392 Chrysler class, just a street performance, and then I want to get to the advanced level stuff.
Now, what
I want to do.
If you go to Goldberg 95 on Instagram, there's my plug because
Goldberg 95 Instagram.
That's what I do. You'll see the pictures of myself with the Bondurants. And I was fortunate enough a couple weeks ago to be invited by Dodge to go down and do the Hellcat experience. The Hellcat experience is the same experience that every Hellcat buyer gets. They go to Bondurant and they learn how to go through the skid pad. They learn how to go on the track, the autocross, the braking, and the road course. And, I'm a speed junkie, and so I spent all my time in the Viper, the full-out race car, going balls out, man, because that's what I like to do. But it was an awesome experience. Awesome. So Bondurant, you got to go. I'll get you hooked up. There's great people there.
How extensive is the class? I mean, is it totally immersive?
They have all different levels from beginners.
Dude, I'm going full bore. I want to do it all.
Dude, they've got stuff that puts me way above my comfort level, and I've been doing this stuff for years. I'm by no means a race car driver, but I'd like to think that, and a car is an extension of myself in certain ways, and you can make it do what you want to do. I've driven a number of races, and, I mean, they believe me, there's some things there that get me on the edge of my seat. And so they'll take great care of you. They'll hook you up on the podcast. You mentioned their name once or twice, like I just did, Bondurant School. And I'm telling you, Justin Bell, one of the IndyCar drivers, champions, is one of the instructors down there. I'm telling you, he'll be at Goodwood racing with me. What's his name? Corolla's racing.
Corolla, yeah, dude.
Obviously, Leno's racing there.
Right. Oh, we're going to bring up Leno's name here pretty quick. Going back to Corolla, I've been to his podcast studio a couple of times. The big car guy, as you know, and you have
his garage.
Yeah, he's got a lot of I guess all of Paul Newman's old race cars.
That's what he's driving at Goodwood.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of his race cars, yeah.
You brought up a name earlier, fell out of favor with. I used to think that you and Jesse James were good friends, and I brought this up not to rub you the wrong way. We can drop it if you want to, but I knew that Jesse would go out there and he started running Baja, running GPS with his driver. Saw a couple of his trucks that he built. He used to have a Trans Am over in Long Beach before he moved over to Austin, Texas. And the back of that Trans Am said "Sumbitch" on it. And I said, God damn, if there was ever a name for a car and it fit that car, and I guess it was probably, he had a lot of money put. I think Coors Light ended up buying that car, as a matter of fact. I could be wrong. But what happened with you guys? Because I thought you guys were buds.
Jesse and I were, at the end of the day, man, life's too short. And I'm all good with Jesse. But, it was just a misunderstanding. At the end of the day, we'd like to make everybody out there in Neverland think that everything's peaches and cream all the time and that we're hands on with everything. But it was an article that somebody interviewed me for, and I had mentioned that some other guy at his shop did the majority of the work on the black bike right over there.
Right.
And Jesse. And then I let them use the bike to go to Sturgis to be in their display. And Jesse called me and had a wrinkle in his underwear about it, that I didn't give him all the credit. And I'll never forget, man. I think Fry was over here. A couple other guys were over here. And I came down and I was talking to him on the phone and I was yelling and screaming. And I was like, my head was going to explode. And they didn't know what the hell was going on, and I was, I took offense to it because I was at the guy's wedding, man, And at the end of the day, it was, I completely understood why he was pissed off about it because, I made it sound like he didn't do the bike. But, hey, man, Jesse was getting really big at the time, and he wasn't at the shop all the time. So every time I was there, he wasn't there.
Yeah, and, on the other side of that, here's my chopper story. Bill is huge into motorcycles, anything speed-related, his car collection. Man, I've been a car guy all my life. I just haven't bought a whole bunch of them. But I'll never forget, there was 4 guys in the WWF who was going to get choppers, and one of the guys dropped out. So Big Show calls me and says, hey, dude, so-and-so dropped out. We're going to get 4 choppers built by West Coast Choppers. They're giving us a pretty good deal on them. You want to get a chopper? I'm thinking, yeah, for the money. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I said, yeah, I mean, why not? I didn't need a chopper. I like to look at choppers. Don't really want to ride a chopper.
Good PR move.
It's a good PR move, and it'd be cool to get in because we're getting a little bit of breaks. Okay. So anyway, I go down to West Coast Choppers in Long Beach, talk to dudes. Hey, man, yeah, here's kind of what I'm thinking. The build process starts. Literally, and I could be exaggerating a little bit, I just moved to Malibu. Dude. Don't ever move to Malibu. It's highly overrated. With all due respect to all the people that live there, it wasn't my cup of tea, but that's where I was living. About 2.5 years later, here comes a delivery truck to bring in my West Coast chopper to me. And this motherfucker was immaculate. It was badass. Metal flake, red flames off a red tank skull right there where the gas cap is. no speedometer. The brake light was about the size of my thumbnail. And, that fork seemed about 6 foot long. It was loud and it was powerful. So they dropped it off. They rode off into the sunset. And I get on my damn chopper, kick that thing over, started. I can't remember what the deal was. We're mobile now. And I got on the Pacific Coast Highway. And I rode about 3 miles just going through the gears, loud as fuck. The bike was an absolute monster. I turned it around in one gigantic U-turn because the forks were so long. I came back. My wife was sitting there waiting for me in the garage in Malibu. As I come up the hill and came into the garage, she goes, "Well, how was it?" I said, "It was awesome. It's for sale." She said,
"Was it a rigid?"
No, it had some. It was a rigid because there weren't no shocks in the back. Yeah. And so basically with those long forks, it doesn't really absorb anything. Bill is unmasking a badass black bike right now.
So basically it was kind of like this.
It's exactly like yours. It was rigid.
And so you can only imagine with the guy's birthday at December 27th of this year when I will turn the ripe old age of 50, that with this rigid and the monstrous rear tire that you see, that this is a spine buster. So this is currently up for sale. Just because I'm a firm believer that someone else needs to ride the beautiful piece of machinery because I ain't getting on it again.
Bill, my bike looked very similar in the structure to this. The same pipes, mine were chrome, yours are blacked out. Yeah. But basically the same layout. The skulls on the center of the tank. My gas cap was a little bit further back. Flames. And it was supreme. So shout out to West Coast Choppers. And here's the deal. Well, my wife said, "How was it?" Let me finish the story first. And I said, "It was awesome." I said, "It's for sale." And she goes, "What are you talking about? It took 2.5 years to get this bike." I said, "Kristen," there's going to be a lot of things that happen to me. But one of the things that's not going to happen to me is getting smoked on the PCH by a car riding a West Coast Chopper. Yeah. I wish I would have built, just like a Springer. Or just something, just like a regular bike with regular shocks.
Okay, you see that Road Glide over there?
Right.
That Road Glide's only been on the 15. I don't think it's been on the 5 maybe 2 times. I've had this house for 18 years. I won't ride on the highway with these motorcycles. That bike right there, that's for sale. This bike right there, that's for sale. That one right there is the original Goldberg bike from West Coast Chopper, so that's never for sale.
Right.
And so, there's my wife's bike downstairs. It's for sale. My time now is predicated upon spending as much of it as with my family as possible. I can't put Gage on the back of that, so I can put him in that, and I can put him in that, and I can surely put him in that. So why not get rid of these when I don't have the time to get on them and enjoy them? And when I do, they're just going to shove my spine up and through, up through, the back of my head. It's not enjoyable anymore. And let somebody else have fun with them. They're badass. There's no doubt about it. This thing's got 160 horsepower. It's got more horsepower than those Prius things that I was talking about.
But what about, I don't know how you are, Bill. It's just like, man, I'm a brand ambassador for Kawasaki Motorsports. Just the Mule Pro FXT line. I got a KLX 450 that I had brand new in 2008. I still got it. That bike probably doesn't have 3 hours on it. But and I didn't need a 450 because I ain't got the skill to control that thing. But they say with age comes a cage. Do you feel that from a safety standpoint? And dude, I live it. We both live in California. A lot of lane splitting going on here, and safe rides for anybody who's on 2 wheels.
Lane splitting, that's bullshit. These people who split lanes. First of all, under 25 miles an hour, was it under 20? It's you can do it under, but you can't do it over. It's against the law, correct?
Well, I didn't know that because everything that comes by me is screaming.
Well, I'm telling you, man, these guys who do that, take their lives in their hands, and they make it bad for guys like me who just want to go out and leisurely hang out on their bike. It's unfortunate that they do it, man. But
and that's they're taking whatever risk they're taking. Because I don't.
But what they're doing is they're putting other people's lives in danger too. Because if a 75-year-old lady looks over and sees a motorcycle like 2 inches away from her window, she might freak out.
But dudes, my bike You got that little gimmick mirror on your left hand of your steering handlebar.
That ain't
I had the
functional.
same bullet gimmicks on my handlebar holders. I bet the brake light is about as big as your thumbnail, and they make badass bikes. And let me say this, I don't want to say in defense of Jesse James, but I think you will agree. Like you said, he was blowing up at the time. Did he hand build every single motorcycle that came out of there?
No. But did they ask me if he built it? Then
Well, yeah. If they ask you that question, that's a whole different thing.
That's what they said.
But in an assembly line, yeah, he can't touch every single thing that comes out.
He don't
there.
have, but he never had an assembly line. You know that, and he. In the beginning, he had hands-on on everything, but obviously once you get bigger and more productive, then you can't have hands-on every single motorcycle. But when somebody asks me a question, then I'm going to give him the answer. And Bill Dodge is the guy who mainly built the bike that in question.
That's the guy that built mine.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm in the Goldberg garage.
I just validated, my entire fucking argument.
Well, I put in some time because this is a podcast.
Yeah. There you go.
Do you want to talk about your cars, or do you want to go hang out and just do your thing?
Dude, man, at the end of the day, it's an honor and a privilege to be in the same breath that you breathe. And so the umbilical cord we talk of, such as this microphone that bonds us together right now, we may talk as long as you'd like.
All right, we're going to talk cars. I'm coming back. Bill Goldberg. Thank you.
That was eloquent, wasn't it?
All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. It's time to wrap up this podcast and ride off in the sunset. As you know, that means for me, take a shower, shave, get all gushed up, go talk to Chip Foose down there in Huntington Beach. Tonight, talking to Vampiro. They're both coming very soon to the Steve Austin Show. Hey, man, let me give you guys something to watch and thank Bill Goldberg once again for his hospitality, him and his wife Wanda and his son Gage for being so kind to me when I went down there in San Diego. I had a great time hanging out with you guys. The match I'm going to give you guys to watch is one that we talked about briefly on the podcast, and it was Bill Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan. So if you just go to YouTube and type that in, you'll find this match. And I just got finished watching the match myself, and let me get back on the YouTube page. And it says Hulk Hogan versus Goldberg, WCW Nitro, 7/06/1998 full match. And from start to finish, this is minus entrances. The time code is 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Let me tell you something. This is a hell of a damn match. The crowd is absolutely white hot. Both guys were super over. Goldberg, of course, was going through the roof at this time. Hulk Hogan, in this match, he's having a heel run. He plays the chicken shit heel, and he plays it to perfection. A lot of people, some people in wrestling say, Hulk Hogan couldn't really work. No. Hulk Hogan really could work. He worked a big man style. He was the right guy at the right time in the right place, and he was super over as a baby. Here he's got great heat as a heel. He's starting to slow down a little bit in this match, but his charisma and his presence and his antics, and you watch him, he plays the chicken shit heel here, but during the heat, he's very vicious. Rakes the eyes, rakes the back, pulls off the belt, goes to beat Bill Goldberg with the belt, and he plays this crowd perfectly. If you scroll down and you read some of the comments, one of the comments says, "This isn't a good match. Hit the mute button and watch it back." No. You're missing the whole point. These guys work this crowd in this building, and I would go one step further to go ahead and watch it again with the mute button on. It's still a hell of a match. It's very economic. They don't do anything they don't have to do. Hulk Hogan and Bill Goldberg are not going to go out there and do a bunch of high spots or crazy high-risk maneuvers, because that's not who they were. Goldberg, extreme powerhouse, of course, very athletic and capable of doing all kinds of things, but he's working with Hulk Hogan. Hulk knows his limitations, and he knows how to work a crowd like no other. This is a damn good match, and I suggest you watch it, because if you watch this match and you watch what's going on today, and just kind of dissect the difference of the crowd involvement and how they're working that crowd. And Hulk gives them a look a couple of times, but he's not pandering to them. He's working them. And I tell you what, the match ends up with Kurt Hennig walking out, and I guess he's going to help Hogan, I guess. And there comes back behind them Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone. Hennig turns around, diamond cutter by Karl Malone on Hennig, and then Hulk Hogan can't believe what's going on, does a blind feed into Goldberg, who's waiting with the big spear into the jackhammer, hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3. People start to litter the ring with some trash, but then the building explodes at the same time. Watch this match. This is a badass match. This is how you have a damn good match without doing a whole lot, but everything you do, it means something. They bought time. What's great is Hogan does a little chain wrestling. He'll grab a headlock, spin around into a reverse hammerlock, and Bill counters that. But it's a good match. It's a real good match, and I think you'll have a lot of fun watching it because I got a smile on my face just talking about it. Anyway, hey, let's get a couple plugs in. I got some T-shirts. They're over at BrokenSkullRanch.com. I got a badass Broken Skull IPA. If you want it delivered to your house, go to BrokenSkullRanch.com, and we'll send it to you. Also, I've got a badass pocket knife from Cold Steel. You can find it at BrokenSkullRanch.com. Everything Steve Austin, you can find there. Hey, I want to give a big shout out and say thank you guys for supporting the sponsors of the Steve Austin podcast, because they're the ones that let me do this for you free twice a week. So big thanks to ddpyoga.com. Go to ddpyoga.com/Austin. Get 10% off anything you purchase for a limited time, including the new collector's edition of the Resurrection of Jake the Snake documentary. To SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app and use the promo code UNLEAShed to get a $20 rebate after you make your first purchase. To Onnit. Go to onnit.com/Steve to get 10% off your order. To DollarShaveClub.com/Steve to get a free month of the Executive Razor when you buy a tube of Dr. Carver's shave butter. To the folks at TrueCar. And, of course, to Amazon, who've been supporting this podcast since day one. If you use my Amazon links whenever you're doing any online shopping, Amazon will kick back a couple of bucks to the podcast and help us pay our production costs. It does not cost you anything extra. It's just a deal we have worked out with Amazon. And you can find my Amazon links by going to PodcastOne.com, clicking on the Killer Deals button on the top right corner of the page, and then hitting the Steve Austin Show button. I got Amazon links for USA, UK, and Canada. So just go to PodcastOne.com, click the Killer Deals button in the top right corner, then click on the Steve Austin Show button. All my great sponsors are there. All my Amazon links are there, too. And if you use Amazon, they'll kick back a couple of bucks and help us pay our production costs. Hey, bookmark or some bitch, you can find it in one click. Hey, folks, I got to get my ass out of here, but keep listening. The 60-second AP News headlines are coming up next. Until then, my name is Steve Austin, proud owner of a Metallic Peak 2003 Ford Focus, and I will catch your ass down the road.
Download new episodes of Steve Austin Unleashed every Thursday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
TV has thousands of free movies and TV shows.
What? This is the mindset. Free. This is the mantra. Free. This is the mindset.
With movies like Joe Dirt, Pixels, and 50 First Dates.
This is awesome.
And TV shows like Survivor, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Ghosts. Pluto TV is always free.
Huzzah!
Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
You're welcome.